Nature of psychological data. Let's have a look at data. Data are distinct pieces of information. It is collected from various sources using various methods. And these data are processed, analyzed and formatted to provide information or knowledge. For example, if you wish to study the average height of the students in your class, what you do, you need to collect data like the number of students, the height of the students, number of girl students, number of boy students, etc. Then what you do, you will process it, you will analyze it, and then you provide information on the average height of the students in your class. And you want to consider how the psychological data are different when compared to other science. Here I gave a simple example of data, but while you considering psychological data, it is something different from the other sciences. So we have a look at this in detail. Before that, please remember to subscribe this channel. Thank you. Nature of psychological data. First one, data are important input. The data are not independent entities. They are dependent on something. Then this data influenced by data collection method. Then the data does not speak itself. Each point we will look into details. Important input. Psychologists collect information from various sources and they all are known as data. This data is the information related to individuals' behavior. It can be overt or covert. That is, the psychologists collect information related to the behavior of the individuals. Overt behavior are observable behavior and covert behavior are covered behavior. So these are collected. Then data regarding the thoughts. Thoughts of individuals are collected. Then experience. Especially subjective experience is collected because same disaster or same illness have different experience in different individuals. If two people have same illness, for example, say two people have cancer, but the experience each people is going through will be different. So, subjective experience is needed to be collected. Then, mental processes, data regarding mental processes are collected. So, all these things are important input in psychological researches. And these data in fact approximate or they come closer to the reality to some extent. All these collected data can come closer to the reality and it can provide opportunity for us to verify our ideas, our hunches or notions. So the psychological data are important inputs. Psychological data are not independent entities. They are dependent on something. They are located in a context and are tied to the method and the theory that govern the process of data collection. That is, data are dependent on physical or social context, the persons involved, and the time when the behavior occurred. We behave differently when we are alone than in a group, and we behave differently at home and in office. For example, if you wish to study the driving behavior of a person, you need to take into consideration so many things. That is, the driving behavior depends on so many things like the place it happens. That is, you are driving in a city, whether it is traffic or not, or you are driving in a highway. Then, is the person driving alone, with friends or family? Then the person, is he alcoholic or not? Then the age of the person, young age or an old age person. Then the reason for driving, that is why he is driving, like is it a pleasure trip or is there any medical emergency? So all these things depends when we study the driving behavior of a person. We need to consider all these things, the situation, the person involved, the time, etc. Then all the people does not behave exactly same manner in the same situation. If same situation happens for two people, the two people will behave differently. So that thing is also taken into consideration. The psychological data, it is influenced by the data collection method. The data collection methods can be survey, interview, experiment, etc. And the data is also influenced by the characteristics of the respondents, such as individuals or group, young or old, male or female, etc. So, the data collection method and the characteristic of the respondent influence the nature and quality of the data. For example, when you interview a student, she may behave in a particular manner. And when you go for an actual observation when she is with her friends, then you may find just opposite of what she shown in the interview. Then another example, listening to music. The respondent in the different age give different input and their interests also differ. So the data collection method along with the respondent influence the data collected. And we also obtain verbal reports, observation records, personal diaries, field notes, archived data, etc. So various data collection methods are used and each method will influence the collected data, the nature of the collected data. And the person from we are collecting data, that also influence the nature of the data. The data does not speak itself. We need to make inferences. It is an important feature of data that it does not speak about the reality. We need to make inferences from the data. Inference means the process of using observation and background knowledge to determine a conclusion that makes sense. Let's have a look at an everyday example. When you see chocolate around your younger brother's mouth, what you infer? You can infer that he ate chocolate. A researcher attaches meaning to the data by placing it in its proper context. For example, a researcher wants to find out how many hours students study for 3 different courses. For example, science, maths, and psychology. Each course has 100 students. The researcher does a survey of 10 students in each course. 10 from science, 10 from maths, and 10 from psychology. On the survey, he asked the students to write down the number of hours per week they spend studying for that course. So, the collected data, it will be simply few names and certain numbers. It doesn't give any idea of what it is. So, the researcher has to attach some meaning to it. For that, he need to analyze it, and he need to make inferences from it. To get a better sense of what the data mean, the researcher can plot them on the bar graph. So with the inference, you will get a clear information or a clear knowledge about the topic you have studied. Types of data. There are different types of data. Demographic information. This is personal data. It includes name, age, gender, class, your date of birth, number of siblings, etc. Then physical information. It includes data about the ecological conditions like the area, whether it is hilly area, forest area, plain area or a desert area. Then the economy and housing conditions, etc. are included in the physical information. Then physiological information. It includes data about your height, weight, then the blood oxygen level, various tests done, etc. Then psychological information. It includes data or information related to your personality, interest, values, attitude, etc. So these are the different types of data: demographic, physical, physiological, and psychological. Let's have a quick recap on what we have learned. We have learned what is data. Data are pieces of information. Then we collect the data, we analyze the data, we interpret and make inference to gain knowledge or to provide information. Then what are the nature of psychological data? They are important input. They are not independent entities. They are influenced by data collection method and they does not speak itself. We need to make inferences. Then the types of data: demographic information, physical information, physiological information, and psychological information. Hope you like this video. Please share. Thank you and keep smiling.